Yo, what's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind _ over on Twitter. Thank y'all for clicking on the video, man. I really do appreciate it. It's Saturday night. I got to get you some of my DraftKings top picks before lock, man. You know how it's going. One thing I don't want to do, I don't want to be misleading. I am not trying to create a lineup for anybody, man. I just want to vocalize some of my picks. I want you to see the prices, how I'm thinking, and that's what I'm here to do, man. I want to help y'all get to the green line. There's a ton of options on QB this week. Well, before I get started, man, I gotta let y'all know. Last week, I didn't have a great week, man. It's because I had too many lineups, y'all. I had exposure to too many people, so I'm gonna be really strict this week. I will create 3 lineups at the max. I'm aiming for 2, but I have a few quarterbacks who I really want to use. And a few running backs I want to throw in. But, I'm going to keep it to a minimum, man. Last week I had like 7, 8 lineups. And it was just too much, man. I was right on a few of my picks. It was just not the right combination. And that's how you lose money, man. And that's what I did last week. I'm not doing it this week. So we're going to lock in on some plays that we really rock with. And we're going to get to the green line, man. So, like I said, plenty of options on QB. I'm going to start off with my number 1 quarterback, which is going to be Matt Ryan, taking on Miami. This is a 47 point total, over under, man. I think it's in a really good spot for Matt Ryan coming off the bye week. We know Miami gives it up when it comes to the passing game. And I just really love the play, man. He's at home. He's comfortable. And I just look for him to destroy this Miami team. I shouldn't have to explain this play too much. I think it's a very solid play. Other QBs that everybody will be looking at, I'm gonna give 2 picks from each position, and then I'm gonna just talk about other people. I'm gonna run through it and just talk about other people. I'm gonna try to make this quick though. My second QB will be Kirk Cousins, taking on San Francisco. As you see, the 25th right there. Not only that, but they're really bad when it comes to stopping anybody. When we seen Jacoby Brissett put in work. And it's a trend, man. They're not stopping anybody. Kirk Cousins is also coming off the bye week. I think he's in a very good spot this week. He's getting his number 1 target back in Jordan Reed. I look for a super big week from Kirk Cousins, man. Now I want to run through just everybody, man, and talk a few names. Tom Brady, I'm a little warm on. I think he'll have a good game. Coming off the shoulder injury and game script alone, I don't think he's going to have to do too much. Aaron Rodgers, he's in an okay spot. I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. Historically, going up against Minnesota, he struggles just a tad bit, man. It's not quite Aaron Rodgers numbers. Drew Brees is a very good play, man, on the highest over-under on the slate, taking on Detroit. I'm a little cold on Deshaun Watson, man. I think he's going to be very chalky. I understand what he's doing is greatness. But, like, realistically, y'all, if we look at the numbers he's putting up, he can't sustain scoring this many points and throwing as inefficient as he's been throwing. He has to complete more passes. It's just, I mean, he's a rookie too, man. And he has the upside with the running. I think that's the part that really intrigues me. I think a lot of people are just chasing the touchdowns, but he definitely has a lot of value. This week, I think he has a tougher matchup than people may think, and I think it's going to be so chalky, I'm not even going to be bothered with it. McCourty's been shutting people down. Cleveland is surprisingly okay when it comes to stopping the pass, man. They're getting their number 1 the new pass rusher. He came back last week. I can't think of his name. That's terrible. I just got off work, y'all. I'm a little tired, man. I can't think of his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Big hype around this dude. He seems pretty solid. Phillip Rivers, I think him and Derek Carr is in a really good spot. On the second highest over under on the slate. I think we could take a look at those boys, man. If they say Carr is healthy and he's gonna play, I'm gonna fire it up, man. I'm a believer in this offense when it's being ran by Derek Carr. They're one of the top offenses in my opinion. So I would fire some Derek Carr up, man. And I think two more QBs I want to talk about is McCown and Hoyer. These two guys will benefit from negative game script. So I think they should be in for okay games. I wouldn't say huge games, but I think for their price, they can beat their value. My number one running back, hands down, is going to be Kareem Hunt. Pittsburgh, they give up long runs to everybody, man. I'm talking everybody. Anybody that's played against them, they've given up a long run. I think that trend continued this week. One thing Kareem Hunt is very good at is breaking big runs. So I'm locking that in. That's an easy play for me. He will be in every single one of my lineups besides my early only. That's how high I am on Kareem Hunt. My number two running back, I'm going to get right to it, is going to be Jordan Howard taking on Baltimore, man. Baltimore is struggling at stopping the run. Very solid when it comes to stopping the pass and neutralizing quarterbacks, but they give it up on the ground. Jordan Howard has been very solid, super consistent. As you see, last game he carried the ball 19 times, 76 yards. For all my box score watchers, man, if you don't actually watch some of these games, that can be misleading because Jordan Howard, he scored on like a 40-yard run, but it got taken back, man. But in my mind, in DFS, those points count, man. We have to, apply that to moving forward because those are points that he actually created as part of the offense, part of the system. It was just negated with the penalty. So I'm going to lock Jordan Howard in as my number two running back for sure. Very solid spot for him. I want to go back up now and talk about a few of these top dogs. Le'Veon Bell, I'm not going to tell you not to play him. He's in a good spot every week. Same thing with Fournette. Same thing with Gurley. I think these two, I think Fournette and Gurley could benefit just due to the quarterback play. The matchups for the quarterbacks. I think both of these teams, when it comes to slowing down the running game, they can't do it, man. So, and both of these teams have solid secondaries. I'm looking at these two guys heavily, man. They are in play. And Melvin Gordon is also a very good play. Last week, he led me to the promised land. Shout out to Melvin. He's going up against Oakland, like I said, in the second highest over-under. I think he's in a really good spot this week, y'all. I got to keep it G, though. I'm not going to be I will use him in a few of my lineups, but those guys, I'm not going to be able to have exposure to everybody I want because Kareem Hunt is that much of a lock for me, man. So I'm probably not going to pay super high for two of my running backs when I'm paying up for quarterback. This is part of roster construction, man. So let me go down to the value, man. Get you some value plays. I think Mike Gillislee could benefit from game script. One thing that scares me about this play is Dion Lewis, man. We've been seeing a lot of Dion Lewis lately, and he's been getting some of the goal line work, man. That scares me a little bit, but if things go how they should, I think Mike Gillislee is in a very solid spot. One of my favorite plays, I think he's a super value. He's not a super value because I got a super value for you later. But I think he's a very solid value. It's going to be Lamar Miller. Once again, I think he'll benefit from game script. I think Houston takes an early lead and they just try to, run the ball, man. Cleveland can't stop the running game. They can kind of compete when it comes to stopping the pass. And people are not giving Lamar Miller the respect he deserves. He is very high on my list this week. I would rank him as my number 3 running back, y'all. I feel really good about Lamar Miller. He should have a very explosive game. I think Tevin Coleman is going to benefit from Mohamed Sanu being out. I think he'll be targeted a little more in the passing game. I think he turns in a pretty solid game. On a high over-under total. So I think we could look at him. My super value play, I'm going to let you know some values and we're going to move on. It's going to be Mark Ingram at 4,400, man. I think this is a steal. He's a workhorse type of back. With AP gone, I think he'll reach the 20-point or the 20 carry mark. I know Kamara will still get his work, but I think Mark Ingram is a steal this week, man, for sure. I'm firing him up in several places. Another guy I'm really high on, especially in my season long, Samaje Perine. We know he's going to get the work this week. We got Rob Kelly being out. Samaje Perine has not flashed his total upside, but I think the best is yet to come, man. So I'm gonna have me some exposure to him. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my guy, Jordan Howard. Receivers, all these top guys are in play, man. Julio Jones, of course, fire him up. Antonio, fire him up. I'm a little lukewarm when it comes to Hopkins, man, because McCourty is one of the top corners this season. I know y'all may not believe that, man, but if you dig into some numbers, you will see it for yourself. And I know he'll be shadowing Hopkins, man. I think he could have a tougher matchup than we think. Keenan Allen is one of my favorite plays on the slate, hands down. I love me some Michael Thomas. Chris Hogan, we can't ignore what he's been doing. He's Brady's number one target. We thought it was going to be Cooks, but Hogan has been eating. Mike Evans is going to be shadowed by Peterson. I'm a little lukewarm, man, but this, like Arizona, their passing defense has been giving it up, but mainly because of Bethel, not really Peterson. If you want to play Mike Evans, I think it'll be super contrarian. I know he'll be very low on. Maybe throw him in with a Winston stack if you're on that side of things. I don't think that's a bad idea. Golden Tate, I'm in love with his PPR upside. We know starting off in PPR, he got like a 10-point floor already in a very high-scoring game. I think he should be fine. And now we're about to get to my top receivers. They're going to be right in a row. Deshaun Jackson, I just got done talking about Bethel. He's given up a deep pass to almost everybody he's faced. Arizona's defense, I'm not completely done with them. I still believe in them a little bit, but they've been giving it up, y'all, and I don't think things are going to change tomorrow. So I'm going to fire me up some D-Jacks. And one thing I really love about Deshaun Jackson is his floor. They've been using him with the intermediate routes, man. That's one thing we didn't see, him being used anywhere else. But they're starting to do it, man. They're throwing him slant passes. They're going to try to just see what he can do with his speed. Michael Crabtree will be another receiver I'm very, very high on. I think this matchup is just beautiful, man. Derek Carr is back. Derek Carr established a long time ago that Michael Crabtree is his favorite target, man. So I'm going to fire him up in a very high over-under. And a guy I'm really, really high on is going to be, can y'all guess it? Not Devontae Adams. I know that was a little misleading, but it's going to be Terrell Pryor, man. I think he has a really good game. I'm going to match him up with my Cousins lineup. Maybe a Jordan Reed in there. With Jordan Reed coming back, I think it's going to soak up a lot of the coverage. And I think Terrell Pryor is going to be out on the island with a lot of just single coverage, man. One-on-one matchups. I'm really intrigued by this matchup. Coming off the bye, San Francisco gives it up. I'm telling you, he's gonna have a good game. I have a really good feeling about it. And that's going to really do it for my receivers. Moving on to tight end, I have my favorite tight end of the week, and that's going to be Coby Fleener taking on Detroit. I trust Drew Brees. I trust his tight end, man. So it's as simple as that. A very, very high-scoring game, in my opinion. I think Fleener will be highly involved. And then I have a value play, and the value play is going to be Tyler Higbee. I want to show y'all something. Check out the targets, man. Targets are rising 3, 6, 8. That's one thing we look for, man. We have to keep this in mind. I know he's going up against Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye. very solid players, man. But when it comes to stopping, like the middle of the field is wide open. They're dominant at stopping the outside and deep routes. But that's one thing Jared Goff doesn't do, man. He's not a deep pass thrower, and he's not gonna try to target Sammy Watkins. He hasn't targeted him all year. He's been throwing a Cooper Kupp, and now it's gonna be Tyler Higbee. I think it lines up for a pretty decent matchup, man.